Hola, hola. Welcome back to part two of Daily Motivation. Um, First video cut out, so I'm using my other phone right now. Where are we getting at? So, basically, just to rewind a few clicks, my first video I was talking about how my perspective has changed, and I was listening to a download earlier, and it hit me differently. And I've heard this download a few different times, but it just hit me completely different, where it took me back to my fourth grade inner child self when I was in Turkey during my dad's travels. And I used to always sleep on the balcony in Turkey. There was a beautiful mountains in the background, so I would just sleep out there at night. It was very therapeutic, clear skies, seeing the stars, planets, yada yada. So during those times when we were in Turkey, I created a persona, like a superhero, to defend myself because we were going through a lot of situations. Due to my dad traveling, my mom being ill with multiple sclerosis, she wasn't with us in Turkey, and bada bing, we just had a lot on our plates as kids, and so I created a persona back then that I was unbeknownst to me until this download earlier yesterday, where I saw myself in my third eye, in my mind's eye, standing on that balcony, just staring back at me. And then I just started bawling. I was like, oh my God, I abandoned my inner child in 91. So it's been 34 years since I left my inner child. And that's where the first video cut out. I was getting into that and it just cut out. So I basically gave you a nutshell of part one that I'm uploading now on YouTube. And then I started bawling, crying, because I realized that I've been, when you do your shadow work, you hit certain layers of yourself. And I did not know that I actually abandoned my inner child in Turkey on the balcony 34 years ago. And so I started crying, and then I saw myself as 9 years old or 10 years old. And I knelt down on my knee and I started bawling. I felt like a father that abandoned his son. And I apologized to myself, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't even know that I left you here. I didn't even know I was going through so much mental situations or whatever. I don't even know how to put labels on it. We'll get further into that in another episode. I guess I'm just getting the downloads out, so I'll get more into the meat of it at another time whenever my ancestors tell me that's warranted to do so. And I begged for forgiveness, and my younger self ran up to me and hugged me deep, and then I found myself doing this, rubbing my own shoulders when I opened up my eyes, and wrestling was paused on the screen, and it just snapped me out of reality, back to reality, this reality. And then I closed my eyes again. I was like, oh, fuck that. I got to go back and solidify this bonding relationship and bring my younger self back from Turkey here, back home. And we'll bond, literally. And we did that, and it was awesome. And I feel a lot better and different. And it shocked me because it's like every day you learn something new if you're a student of life, right? And man, I'm always talking about keeping our inner child alive, right? So okay, it said a little battery. I thought this video cut out too. I was like, what the fuck? It scared me. So it scared me after death because I was like, I'm talking about keeping my inner child alive. So what was I keeping alive? You know what I mean? I was like, my inner child has always been with me. Like, the God Spirit is within us all, right? Once you tap in. So I was questioning myself. I was like, okay, well, I'm always talking about keeping my inner child alive. So I guess my inner child was with me in spirit. But I had to find my actual vessel. It was like some Freddy Krueger shit in the movie. He had to go to the junkyard and find his bones, and then he came back. That's exactly what it was. I felt like I had to go back and find my body. Oh man, if you know, you know. And then we bonded, and it was fucking awesome. I feel brand new again. and I'm listening to, I believe I'm listening to Moon's latest download she did from a few hours ago. I've been pretty busy, and time escapes me at times within this new reality. If you know, you know too. Because time doesn't exist, everything's timeless. So I'm watching her download, and very great message, by the way. I'm getting what you're picking up. I'm picking up what you're laying down. Very proud. And that's good to know. That's really good. Good to know. We don't need no GDs. No more GDs. What's GD? Gold diggers. Just appreciate somebody for who they are organically, right? But that'll be another download for another times. Baby Keys. I love that girl. I love all my collectives, by the way, too. So yeah, it was just, there's a word that escaped me. It was revelating. It felt like a total restoration for my vessel and my spirit to connect truly after I went through the trauma that, through my shadow work, I just said, okay, what else is buried down here, right? Because I don't like to be regurgitative, It's just a new world now, but we have to be honest with ourselves and call ourselves out for whatever may be lingering in there. Hence my last video, and I felt like my exorcism. I was like, all right, let's just get this all out. So I feel a lot cleaner now, fresh slate. And this just happened organically. This popped up during a download, right? And that's why my ancestors woke me up and said, you better talk about this. And I hesitated at first. And I was like, nope, it's not important. I mean, I didn't say it's not important, but I was like, I told myself, I'll tell you all later on today. And then I was reminded, when I tell you now, you move. So I was like, fuck, that's right. I got to be obedient. And I was super Garfield comfy. I was like curled up on the side. I just finished crushing a good, healthy dinner. And the itis was kicking right in too. I was like, oh, baby J. I was getting to that stage. The REM was about to kick in. But I forgot that wrestling still paused. So I was basically about to mess up on my own ritual, because before I go to bed, I put on the theta, beta. My words are jumbling, right? Some beta wave music. I don't know what I was attempting to say. And it just helps me get my dream state easier. I love dreaming, man. I just love going. It's an adventure every time. I forgot there was a girl on Instagram that intuitively called me out on that too. She's like, I bet you like dreaming, don't you? And I was like, I do. I've always loved dreaming. It's another time for another topic. Let's not go too far, so I want to wrap this up. So yeah, I found my inner child, y'all. So that's another reason why my ancestors wanted me to do this message. It's always multifaceted. Is because I wanted to share with you a new revelation that I discovered within myself. You're right. So now I feel completed in another area, because in my opinion, I feel like we're never complete. I really feel like it's always something. So like I completed the inner child rescue mission. Like I saved my inner child. It was awesome. I've always thought I had it, but it was just my spirit, my inner child spirit sending me the Batman beacon to let me know I'm always with you, but you need to come back and retrieve the boy. You let me out here stranded and abandoned for 34 years. So I was like, my God, I did. I was on my own spiritual battles and in my own worlds and stuff, and I thought I had this, and that's I abandoned you. Man, it's crazy. If you know, you know. So this hopefully will resonate with you, right? I love this now. I like that. Thank you, ancestors. Hopefully this will resonate with you if you've had some trials and tribulations and some journeys you went through, and you put up some shields for justifiable reasons for yourself, right? And then if you can, some people has been through some trauma, right? You know what I mean? There's some, well, there's a lot of people that's been through some stuff that they have some defense mechanism put up for proper reasons. And it takes a lot of therapy to get, hopefully, to the core of it, and you can accept what happened to you and move on, right? So that's why I'm keeping it hush hush. I was like, I don't even need to address that because it's a sensitive issue for anyone, really. Yeah. So that's why I'm Wusan, because like I hate when I hear women get abused or something, you know what I'm saying, against their will, and then bada bing, so just the Frank Castle pops out on me. Thank you, ancestors, I got you. So, you know, I like taking justice in my own hands at times, but we're at that stage of trusting. Stay on topic. That is on topic, yeah. We defend all of our children and everybody. Okay. Forgive me. Stop saying forgive me, too. Come on now. It's the human merging with the spiritual side and, you know, yada yada. So, yeah, if you've ever been through a situation that you found yourself putting up a shield and you're going through your shadow work now to become a better version of yourself, then hopefully you can discover, well, hopefully this never happened to you. Hopefully you've never abandoned your inner child. Hopefully you and your inner child are completely together and you guys are fine. There's no abandonment issues or anything, okay? This download was mainly just to address if you don't know what your inner child is, if you don't even know how to begin finding your inner child, and how your inner child can keep you joyful and young forever, if you know how to always stay playful and don't be so serious, right? There's a lot of stages to finding your inner child, so I don't want to get too in depth with that. But YouTube is the greatest source for knowledge. If you want to put it in your search bar, somebody will be telling you how what your inner child is, so you can understand what that inner child is so important for, especially in this world we all live in. I find it very important to have our inner childs alive, because when you have your inner child alive, our inner child's always innocent, right? Kids are innocent, born into this world innocent. And so our perspective is always fresh and we see what it really is, right? Because the system wants you to get to a certain age. But when you get closer, when you basically get 16, they're like, all right, now here's your responsibility with your driver's license, all right? Then you have that responsibility on your shoulders. And then you turn 18, then you start thinking about you're about to get out of high school, and then you start filling out applications to go to colleges, and hopefully you'll get accepted at colleges, and then that's another responsibility in our mentalities. Forgive me. Just, you know, when you shave your chest at Chewbacca joint, you get the good old pelvic itches sometimes, but I wasn't always about to bang. So, you know, when you're 18, you're getting ready for college, your mental is like, oh, I'm about to be on my own now. You know, some people are excited about that. Some people get dreadful. It's like, I can't separate from home. I need to be with my parents, whatever, right? And then you turn 21, then you're responsible for drinking. So the system is getting you ready to be on your own. And then by the time you're like, you know, 25, then society's putting that pressure on you. You better look for your significant other, get married, bada bing, right? So where I'm getting at is like society likes to put pressures on all of us to make us fit their cog in the wheel type of system, so everyone benefits off of everybody that follows the American dream. Okay, but that'll be another topic for another time. So by having your inner child alive, you can see these like intersections with you know the people used to promote to the students with their credit cards just to get us to sign because we were young and dumb. A lot of us were like, oh, we got plastic, there's no money, we can just swipe it. So in my mind's eye, it's the same way with how the system that is has their laws and so forth to keep people in line towards the slaughterhouse, you know, towards your retirement. And then it's just a lot of things that is structured so they can keep you mentally in that path. So when your inner child is connected, or you have their spirit of your inner child, okay, because I just connected with my official inner child, then the inner child will always keep you Peter Panish. It's like, okay, well, let's have fun. You know, when you have fun, you create easier. You're not thinking about it. Because kids, when they play, they just play. They're not worried about how they look, right? And so when some of my collective says, hey, just be present, I'm asking myself, like, I'm present every day. What do you mean present? And then when I had that download earlier about me finding my inner child, that revealed another layer to me that made me more present with myself. So I gotta, at times, a lot of times, stop being so stubborn. And like, what are you talking about? I'm not shy. I'm not insecure. I'm not doubting myself. What is this? What is this reading coming from? But then I gotta remind myself, this is y'all's perspectives, and there's other people that may be feeling these energies. And for us intuitive, we feel like a lot of these are addressing us because we have been through a lot of those stages before, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people's energies that sometimes blend in with us, and we're asking ourselves, is that our energy? That's not mine. I'm so confident, and boom, boom, boom. And so we find ourselves defending some of the readings we hear because we're like, that's not us. We're never giving up. We're always warriors. We're this. What are you talking about? We've always been like that since kids. I've never been. No, that's a lie right there. I have been depressed a lot of times. Okay, I got to be real with myself. But I feel like I've been more confident versus shy and not speaking my mind. I never had a problem with speaking my mind or defending myself or giving up. That doesn't flow through me. You know what I mean? My cosmic rest do, and then when people's like, "Oh, he's not recording. He must be tired. He must be nervous." It's like, no, I'm just getting some rest. You know how much I fucking do daily. And so when you hear people like, "You got to step up more," I was like, "What else?" I know I'm kind of getting into the stone cold. Okay, this is not for that. I'm just expressing. What am I doing that again? I'm explaining my damn self, ain't I? Do I care how they feel? Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? Okay, it's stages. We're working on it. If you get me, you get me. If you like me, you like me. Okay, God damn. But yeah, it's to the fucking stage. People want me to just say fuck it and do something different, and bada bings, walk on the Peter footsteps of water. I'm just laughing because it brings me back up to the Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I know there's levels to it and perspectives and views and so forth. I get that. More clear by the day, just to be more honest, because we can feel like we know something, and then the very next day we're like, okay, I guess I didn't know shit. No, don't do that. Don't even entertain that. No, mind. That's transmuting Zoe, so we can say it, and God understands. He's just gonna have to understand. I don't know if he's like, what is he laughing about? Certain things we see still makes our eye twitch a little bit, and we wanna address some things, but we don't want to cause division. We want to create unity. So when I did see, no, don't even do that, Joe. That's not you. So yeah, we just want to. Fucking bitch. Oh my God, we found our inner child, so we did. Don't let the old ego program come back. That's all it is wanting to do, is like, tell them. Then I was like, yeah, no, that's not right. So I guess I should end this soon before he persuades me and then I lose, and I'm not doing that. And I guess you will just have to see me withhold some bullshit because it's not that important. Yeah, that's small potatoes. We can transmute that without telling the world. Stop, man. And I know my audience out there's like, you gotta tell me. That's not like you, so. But it's not about that. It's about everybody finding their inner child. And once you find your inner child, then life becomes so much clearer, because then you can see the roadblocks of the Agent Smith trying to tell you to come this way, sign up for this program, get married by this age, you better have this job by this time, you better have this amount of money in retirement so you can boom, or savings and investments. And there's just a lot of directions they want to pull you in to keep you feeling overwhelmed and stressed, so they can offer another solution for you. They're the ones that caused the problem, and then they got the solution in their pocket, right? So, like, we've noticed that a long time ago. That's why a lot of people don't like us, because they're like, okay, well, we can't control Alonzo, so we just don't like the boy. And since I'm forgiven, and I have forgave, let's just say I'm forgiving daily, because I'm finding there's a whole Billy Madison list of people that I forgot that I did not forgive yet. It's like Alcohol Anonymous. You just got to go through the 5 stages and shit. So I'm just going to say that because that's just the safest way to say it. Versus me doing what I used to do. I'll never do construction. And guy was like, every time you say never, I make sure you go through that. And everything I said I never would do, I found myself doing it. And some people have jokes like, okay, well then tell yourself you'll never get $1,000,000. But I'm not even going to let my brain, I'm not even going to allow myself to say that. These God may just have fun one day with ourselves and say, okay, you know what? Just made whole reverse the whole the whole expressions. Like, okay, that worked back then, but we changed the algorithms up, all right? So we don't want to do that to ourselves, baby J's. Shit. We got Billy's coming in. All right, man, let's just end this joint because your left shoulder wants to come and grab the microphone. But it's all blended for a reason because we want to have fun. Why so serious? Okay, we're out of the past, but our job is to be a life coach. So there may be some things you hear that is just going to be heard. We have new people that listen and watch me every day, so it's good to be a refreshing life coach in that sense. And I'm saying that so my left shoulder will say, stop telling these people that. I'm like, Zoe, man, you and I have conversations daily, millions of times. We're overthinkers, okay? So we may have said this shit billions of times, but there's a lot of people out here that has not heard this download, and God keeps on reminding us that there's people that need your energy. They need your light. They just need you to show up. So if I'm just sitting here for 20 minutes like this, God said that's enough. Just if you just sitting there open mouth or with the popcorn lips, that's enough. All right, that's enough. So stop overthinking how you're going to show up. Just sit there. Maybe Jay's gonna get some new chairs because these bitches getting a little squeaky me geeky. But I love it. We put some wear and tear in these chairs. That's why it's like time to step up and get some more furniture and all the good stuff. It is what it is. So I gotta stop saying yada yadas. There's times that we just love who we are, and that's why we want to tell the world, like, you're gonna love me or hate me. I don't need to get this amount of money. I don't need to have this Bentley. I don't need to have this fucking castle. I don't need to have this investment for you to say, okay, I like you. But that's what's cool about the people that do like me. They like me for who I am, and I don't need to meet no requirements. So that's a good thing, fella.